Thank you for joining us for the final episode of this season of Talking Tech with CSI. I'm Allison Maddock, Chief Product Officer at CSI, a leading provider of innovative fintech, regtech, and cybersecurity solutions. Today I'm joined by CSI's Chief Risk Officer, Steve Sanders, to answer some of your questions on artificial intelligence and its impact on our industry. Excited to have you here today, Steve. Hope you're ready to talk tech.
Oh, I'm always ready to talk tech. This is going to be fun.
Well, Steve, this season of Talking Tech has been focused on addressing the hottest topics in technology and why those topics are important for our viewers. And today we have some questions from our viewers for you to answer. Are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it, Allison.
First question, how do you see AI impacting our industry, and should we be concerned about that impact?
That's a big question, Allison. I do think that we ought to be prepared for what's coming. And I would relate this similar if we go back in time to when the airplane or the car was invented. If you didn't adopt the new technology, you were left behind. However, there's positive and negative aspects of this, and the bad guys are going after this technology and using it in nefarious ways. For example, social engineering and assistance in hacking attempts stands out. Many times the hackers don't know how to code something and they're having AI code that for them rather than coding it themselves. So there's always going to be that side of it, and there's going to be things we've never even thought of that are going to happen and going to be used against us. But that's only part of the story. We're also going to see incredible improvements in our decision-making processes, how we go about identifying users, and our cybersecurity tools.
Well, Steve, cybersecurity is a widespread concern when it comes to embracing AI. What concerns should organizations be aware of when developing a strategy that includes AI?
Well, first off is really a tangential topic to cybersecurity, and that is privacy. So we really need to be thinking about the privacy topic. And let's take ChatGPT as an example. If you don't have this set up properly, all your data inputs with ChatGPT become part of the training material that ChatGPT learns from. So in the business world, if we put private confidential data into an improperly secured ChatGPT session, that data can become part of the training material. Now, the problem is, even if it is set up properly, mistakes happen. And when those mistakes happen, things go awry. Data breaches happen. So we have to realize that we're trusting a piece of technology that's actually pretty immature with confidential data if we put that in there. And then the other big risk that I think we have with AI is improperly trained systems. And we're not hearing a lot about this, but the problem is that AI goes through a training session, and that training can be poisoned, if you will. Now, it could either be a manipulation of the training by an insider who knows what they're doing and they want to introduce bias, or it could be manipulated by an outsider who is attempting to manipulate the output of that AI engine to benefit them in some way. Related to this is transparency, and this is going to become a very real concern for us as we move forward. So as we implement AI engines that make decisions, how do people know how those decisions are made? How do they know that there isn't bias in those decisions? How can we be assured that the system we're using is actually making the best decision it can with the data it has? And so we're going to have a lot of maturing as an industry to figure that part out. And I would just say to everybody, keep your eyes open in that case.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot to learn. And if organizations choose to leverage AI technology, is there a way to do that without causing any friction for their customers?
You know, generally speaking, I don't think friction is going to be the problem. I do think we need to think about that, but I think the concerns are a little bit different than that. So for example, the friction could come in if you use AI for first level support and it answers questions for you. Have you gone through and have you tested that in a real world scenario? Do you know where it can mess up? Do you know what happens when it messes up? And frankly, let's think about this. What happens if it goes awry? Do you have a backup plan? Do you have people that can step in at that point? What if the behavior that comes out of that AI engine is not just unpredictable, but unacceptable? What do you do at that point? How do you recover from that? So those are things that, in my opinion, have to be thought about. So we do need to monitor the systems. We do need to be sure the behavior is what we expect. So the outcome is what we expect, but I'm not really sure friction is going to be the problem.
Wonderful. Well, finally, Steve, Where do you see the cybersecurity landscape heading in the next 5 years with the presence of AI?
This is such a big topic, and I think if you were to ask 100 different people, you would get 100 different answers. But the reality is the criminals are getting better and better every day. And in fact, if you just pick up the paper, you see that. And they are going to use these tools to compromise us in ways we can't imagine. So that is a big problem. They'll impersonate us in video and speech, deepfake videos and speech recognition, and they're going to use those to break into banks and things of that nature. So we have to keep our eyes on those things. We're also seeing that it only takes smaller teams to do very bad things than in the past. You might have in the past needed a team of 10 to accomplish something, and now maybe a team of 2 can do it because they're supplementing their work with AI where it fits. Now, that being said, maybe a more real thing we're facing today is fraud. And so AI is going to be used in fraudulent attempts. And let's think about phishing emails. AI could write phishing emails better than ever before, or AI could help us navigate through a system of controls. So that's going to be a big deal too, and fraud is of course bigger than it's ever been. Now, the flip side, and maybe where you were going with the question, is what are we going to do as the good guys when it comes to cybersecurity? And this is really exciting. So the tools are where we start. We implement AI within our tools, and that's going to cause us to be able to make real-time decision making better on lots of points of data that we've never had before. And that can be things like identifying a user or zero trust systems within your networks. Identification is going to become a totally different game at some point. And we're already seeing a little bit of this, such as the speed at which you type or how you hold your phone can be used to identify you. So I do think we're going to see unique and exciting threat detection and response mechanisms that happen. I think we're also going to see cases where professional coders will be able to code a project much more efficient and much faster using AI selectively in there. We're not going to be able to replace humans because humans are where the creativity happens. But there's also mundane tasks that we might be able to do better than we've ever done them before using AI. And I think that will play into the security realm as well.
It's exciting to hear about some of those positive ways we can use it. Steve, always a pleasure to have you on Talking Tech with CSI. For more conversations on cybersecurity, check out our first season of the series with Steve and CSI's Director of Product Management, Sean Martin. That's a wrap on our second season of Talking Tech with CSI. If there are other topics you'd like us to discuss in the future, let us know by using the hashtag TalkingTechWithCSI. Until next time, thanks for watching.